hungover, still drunk, to be honest. But today we're going to do a few pages from the spring program guide from the library. We're going to do a page from the judges list. Sorry. And we're going to do a page from the Cambridge Encyclopedia. Okay, let's start with the encyclopedia. Grust. Area 346 square kilometers. Swedish island in the Kattegat, off southwest coast of Sweden, separated from the mainland by a narrow channel. Second largest island in Sweden. George Orwell. Pseudonym of Eric Arthur Blair, 1903 to 1950, novelist and essayist, born in Mothia, Bengal, India. He was educated at Eton and served in Burma in the Indian Imperial Police, 1922 to 1927, but rejected the political injustice of imperial life, recounted in the novel Burmese Days, 1934, to live as a beggar in the East End of London, which became the subject for his book Down and Out in Paris and London, 1933. Similarly, research experiences led to the writing of A Clergyman's Daughter, 1935. Keep the Apististra Flying, 1936. The Road to Wigan Pier, 1937. Homage to Catalonia, 38. And The Lion and the Unicorn, 41. During World War II, he was war correspondent for the BBC and the Observer, and wrote for the Tribune. His intellectual honesty motivated his biting satire of communist ideology in Animal Farm, 1945, a masterpiece which was overshadowed only by his novel in 1984. Written in 1949. A classic pessimistic satire about the threat of political tyranny. Ori Saiteropodidae. Ori Saiteropodidae. Okay, here. Orycteropodidae, a family of insectivorous mammals found in open grassland and bushland of Ethiopia region. Only member, the aardvark. Oryx, a grazing antelope with very long, slender horns, pale with striking white and dark markings on face and underparts. 3 species. The oryx, also known as the Cape oryx, Bisa oryx, fringe-cared oryx, or gemsbok. Oryx gazella, and the scimitar, or white oryx. Osaka. Osaka is formerly known as Naniwa, has a population of 2,672,000, port capital of Osaka Prefecture in Honshu, Japan, on the northeast shore of Osaka One Bay, one of the power centers of Hideyoshi, and then during the Tokugawa shogunate, 17th to 19th century, major shipping and trade developments from 18th century, leading center for traditional puppet theater, focus of abortive peasant revolt in 1837, City almost completely destroyed in World War II. Now third largest city in Japan. Airport, railway, subway, several universities, part of the Osaka Kobe industrial area, commerce, steel, textiles, chemicals, brewing, printing, famous puppet theater, Osaka Castle, Municipal Museum, Electric Science Museum, Fujita Museum, Shinto Temple, Sumiyoshi Shrine, Tenjin Matsuri River Races, July, Great Exhibition 1970. John Osborne. In 1929 to 1994, he was a playwright, film producer, and actor, born in London, United Kingdom. Educated at public school in Devon, he was briefly a copywriter, and he wrote his first plays while working as an actor in repertory theaters. Look Back in Anger, 1956, filmed in 1958. His first play as a sole author established him as the first of the Angry Young Men. The Entertainer, in 1957, filmed in 1959, confirmed his position as the leading young exponent of British social drama. Among other works are Luther, 1960, filmed 1971, Inadmissible Evidence, and West of Suez. While Deja Vu rediscovers Jimmy Porter a generation later, he also wrote the screenplay of Tom Jones, and two volumes of outspoken and acerbic autobiography, A Better Class of Person, and Almost a Gentleman. Oscar. The familiar name for the statuette awarded annually by the American Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences for outstanding performances and creative and technical achievement in films shown during the preceding year. There are many accounts of the origin of the name, all speculative. In one account, it arose when a secretary at the Academy said that the figure reminded her of her uncle Oscar. Oscillation, a repetitive periodic change. Electrical currents in radio receivers oscillate. For example, mechanical oscillations, such as those in a building caused by passing traffic or in a plucked guitar string, are usually called vibrations. Oscillator, a circuit for converting direct current into alternating current of a required frequency. Part of the output is returned via a feedback circuit to the input. By varying the components of the feedback circuit, the oscillator can be tuned to a certain frequency. Patricia June O'Shane, 1941 to present. Magistrate, born in Mossman, Queensland, Australia. She studied at the University of New South Wales, and in 1978 became the first person of Aboriginal descent to be called to the bar. In 1981 she became head of the New South Wales State Ministry of Aboriginal Affairs. She was appointed a magistrate in the local courts of New South Wales in 1986, and has made a number of progressive, well-publicized decisions concerning women and Aboriginal people. Douglas D. Osheroff, 1945 to present, a physicist born in Aberdeen, Washington, USA. He studied at Cornell University, working under Lee and Richardson as part of the team which in 1972 discovered the superfluidity of helium. He shared the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1996. Osier, a species of willow forming a shrub or small tree, growing to 10 to 16 feet, native to Europe and Asia, and often grown as a source of withies, long plant stems produced in numbers when the plant are coppiced and used, for example, in basket work. Osiris, ancient Egyptian god, the husband of Isis. Originally he was the king of Egypt, His brother Seth murdered him and scattered the pieces of his body. These were collected by Isis, and Osiris, given renewed life, was made the king of the underworld. Okay, that's one page. Now we're doing one page from the spring, or a couple pages from the Spring Library Guide. 3D design with Tinkercad. This is for teens, registration required. In this 2-session workshop, participants will be able to design a 3D printed object using Tinkercad, prepare it for printing, and then print the finished object. Gingerbread in June. Who says gingerbread houses are only for winter? Come build an epic gingerbread creation while the birds chirp and the sun shines. We'll supply everything you need, and we'll award prizes for the most amazing creation. For ages 13 to 18. Okay, this is for adults. Events. Ride into Spring Cycling Workshop. Bike season is here. Join us for this free informative seminar and learn what you need to get rolling, including basic bike maintenance, gear you'll need, and the best local cycling trails and clubs. Self-publishing fiction with Andy Pelequin. Interested in learning how self-publishing works? Come learn from Andy Pelequin, a local author who's made a career in publishing his own books. Andy will talk about everything that goes into self-publishing, including struggles, pitfalls, and things to pursue to achieve success. Andy Pelequin is first and foremost a storyteller and artist. He writes fantasy and science fiction and loves to explore the darker side of human nature through the filter of heroes, villains, and everything in between. Make reading easier. Explore technology for accessible reading. Reading changes throughout your life, including how to read. Access Services is here to explore different technologies to keep you or someone you know reading. Find out how to make the Libby app more accessible with Daisy players and discs and other technologies you may not know about. Plant Swap. Are your plants taking over your garden? Do you love new plants? Would you like to exchange some? If yes, then we'll see you at the Kelowna Downtown Library Plant Swap on June 10th. Okay, one page from the judges list. If I could open it. Jeez. Local crime in a small town, and their transgressions were too minor compared to the others. He had never seriously considered putting them on the list. As dinner came to an end and the band began playing softly, mostly old Motown hits that the crowd loved. A few eager couples hit the floor during dessert. Helen liked to dance, and Bannock could hold his own. They skipped the cake, made their entrance, then jerked and gyrated through some Stevie Wonder and Smokey Robinson. After a few songs, though, she was parched and needed a drink. He left her at the table with her friends and went outside to the patio where the men were smoking black cigars and sipping whiskey. He was pleased to see Mac McGregor standing alone near the edge, a glass in one hand, a phone in the other. After 10 years on the bench, Bannock knew every lawyer between Pensacola and Jacksonville, many others too, and Mac had always been one of his favorites. They had both joined local firms about the same time, then spun off into their own shops. Mac loved the courtroom and quickly became a skilled and sought-after trial advocate. He was one of the few lawyers in the area who could take a case from the beginning, injury or death, and push it all the way to a successful verdict. He was a pure trial lawyer, not a mass tort chaser, and he handled criminal cases as well. Bannock had never seen his work firsthand, but he had never allowed himself to believe that one day he would need Mac's services. Okay, that's one page from each. Until next time.